Welcome back, everyone. It's John Wade Boggs fan. So, what do I like to do when I'm doing a contest response video for John Mangini's 900th subscriber contest? I like to look at some baseball cards. All right. Now, the cards that I'm going to show off in this video are ultra rare, ultra valuable, just variation cards that are going to blow your mind. And as such, I have on these gloves. Now, this is the first time that I've worn these gloves in any of my videos. Now, I've shown off some, pretty high-end cards, some fairly valuable cards, but I have these gloves on because for these cards I'm going to show you, and you'll understand why once you see them, that I need to protect these cards. I don't want any residue oil from my fingers to get on these cards, even to get on the cases of the cards. I mean, these cards need to be handled like they are valuable works of art. So I'm going to take my time, be very careful, but I do want to show these to you because, again, these are some variation Wade Boggs cards that I'm sure you've never heard of, never seen before. Again, are just going to just blow your mind. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn the camera around and let's check out some of these extraordinary examples of variation Wade Boggs cards. All right. Now, before I start showing off these cards, I want to give a little bit of a background. And for those of you who have been collecting for a while, know that from the period, the late 80s to early 90s, it was considered the Great Depression of the hobby. There was such low production, you couldn't find cards anywhere. I remember as a kid going from store to store to store, you name it, gas stations everywhere. I mean, I looked all over the place, and I just could not find any baseball cards from the late 80s through the early 90s. I mean, there were countless times where I'd come back from Kmart or the grocery store or CVS or, a whole bunch of places, not being able to find cards and just sobbing, just crying. All I wanted to do was buy some 1988 Donruss or 1990 Donruss, and you just couldn't find them. So fast forward to today. I'm older. I have a little bit more disposable income, and I've been able to acquire some of these rare cards. Now, in addition to them being rare, and I don't know if it was because of production problems or whatever, but there were some variations in the printing of these cards. And I am very fortunate enough to be able to have some of these cards. So I wanted to show these off to you. Now I have some of these in some protective sleeves here that I want to, again, I got my gloves on to make sure that they're all protected. All right, so one of the first ones we have here, we're going to start off with some 1989 Donruss, okay? And now I'm going to be, most of these are on the variations are on the back, and they may be a little bit hard to see, but nonetheless, I'm going to point out the difference, all right? Now, here's the first one, all right? Here's the front of the 89 Donruss. I know too many of you not have even seen copies of 89 Donruss. So this is what the front of an 89 Donruss looks like, okay? Now I'm going to turn this over. Now you notice a little sticky note here, and I was even very careful to put the sticky note on so I don't even ruin the penny sleeve that it's in. So, if you notice up in the corner there, and I'll try to get it, this camera doesn't zoom too well over here, but if you notice, there's a little asterisk with denotes. Okay, denotes lead league. All right. And then further up at the top where it says Leaf Ink, there's no period after the ink. Okay. Now, here's where you start getting blown away. All right. Now, here's another copy with denotes one single asterisk, but this copy has the period after the ink. Super rare. You just can't find these today. Just an amazing example of that one error card. Now, to make things even more exciting for me, is this other copy. And I'm going to take this out of its special holder here as well. Now, this one, okay. This one here, if you notice, has an asterisk before the denotes and after the denotes. And this one has the period after the ink. Now, one of my holy grail cards to find is this 89 Donruss with the 2 asterisks and without the period. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to tell which are more rare, the period or without the period, but I hope one day to own one without the period. So that's 1989 Donruss. All right, now let's move to 1990 Donruss. All right, now with 1990 Donruss, there are multiple variations. Now, what I may decide to do here is, rather than tempt fate, I'm just going to keep them in the holders that I have. Now, as you can see, again, I've been very fortunate to have some multiple copies of these rare cards. But rather than just keep taking them in and out of the plastic, I should be able to show you the different variations here. So, all right, we're going to start with his base card. Now, his base card has 3 different variations. All right. Now, the first 2 are on the back. And again, this is that extremely tricky ink period, no period. So these are the ones here in the top right that have the period. And these here are the ones that don't have the period. And as you can see, I don't have many that are without the period. So really special cards for me. But just as an added twist, all right? Now, if you look, now you may not be able to see right away, but if you compare the borders, okay? Now, if you notice, with all the speckles and stuff, now these speckles here are different. It's a different pattern border on the front, okay? Now, these pattern here were found in packs. This different pattern variation are only found in factory sets. And just to find a factory set of 1990 Donruss these days, it's like hitting the lottery. I mean, you just don't see them. And the fact that someone broke up a factory set and sold this single is just amazing. So that's the base card. And now he has an all-star card in that set as well. Okay. Now, this has 5 different variations. Okay. Now, let's see if I have these marked on the back. I got to be very careful with these cards. As you can tell, I'm shaking. All right. So this is a all-star card. So there's a variation where they used the regular back recent major league performance. Okay. And this one has no period after ink. All right. Then there's another variation with recent major league performance with the period after the ink. All right. Now, for some further variation, we have, let's see here. Oh boy. All right. I may have to open these for you to see it. I'll try to be very careful, very careful here. These ones here are corrected with the All-Star Game performance. Okay. And so this is the All-Star Game performance with no period after the ink. And then the All-Star Game performance with the period after the ink. And then this also has, as you can see here, all right, this also has a factory set border variation. You can see there's like one dot there on the pack pulled and no dot there, and just a slightly different. If you don't know what you're looking for, you can easily miss this. It's again, and these ones that come from the factory set, just again, like I said, so hard to come by. All right, we'll try to move it a little bit faster along here. I do have a few more sets to go through. Now we have 1991 Donruss. All right, now here we have standard. These were, so you can tell I have a little bit more of these. They started to produce a little bit more in 1991, so they're not as rare, but still really hard to find. All right, so these have the no period ink on the back, and I have some with the period. All right, not as many as you can tell. And then they have a factory set. You can see the different border there. All right, and this is the All-Star card. A different border there. So this is from the rare factory set. Okay, and here's his regular card. Okay, so we're going to put these up here. Here's his regular card, and again, I have the variation with ink on the period after ink, and then there's the version here with no period after ink, and here is the factory set border variation. Okay, again, very, very rare. So just two more sets, I think. Now, in 92, again, they increased production a little bit from 91, still so hard to come by. But here's the 1992 Donruss, and we're going to start off with the All-Star card. All right, and of course we have now this is down at the bottom instead of at the top. Again, I know it's hard to see with my camera here, but trust me, this is the ones that have no period after the ink, and then I have a little bit more of the ones with the period after the ink. All right, and same for his base card. Okay, I have just a few here of the and this is on the side here. So we have a period after the ink, and then ones without the period after the ink. And then finally, it's not just these rare variations aren't just limited to the main Donruss products from this time, but also extends to Leaf. And this is from 1992 Leaf. And as you can see down here at the bottom, this is without the period after the ink. And this variation may be so extremely rare. I only have one copy, okay? One copy that has the period after the ink. So there you go. I mean, in terms of investment potential, these cards here are, boy, in any given day, man, you could get like 15 cents for each of these cards. I mean, just they're that rare, okay? And one of these days, all it needs to do is, if it jumps up to 20 cents a card, that's a 33% return going from 15 cents to 20 cents. So, this may be an investment opportunity for you. I don't normally give out investing advice, but if you can pick one of these up for 15 cents, and hold on for a little while, because I think the knowledge of these variations, once it gets out in the mainstream, maybe Gary V will start promoting these. I should maybe think of getting some of these graded by PSA, but once the word gets out, I think these cards will sell like crazy for 20 cents in no time. And that's, you know, right there, that's like a, you know, 33% return like that. So I'm sitting on a potential gold mine here. But that's what I have for you for John Mangini's 900 subscriber contest video. John, congratulations, well deserved on 900 subscribers. You'll be at 1,000 in no time. I'll put a link, if for those of you who don't know who John Mangini is. um, I'll put a link to his channel in the description of this video. And of course, I just love the idea of the gloves. Hopefully everyone got the uh, joking around that I was doing in this video. Hopefully most of you got a laugh out of it, including the gloves. But John, great idea for a contest response video. That's all I have for everyone. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.